Hello, hi, good evening. This is Sophia dialing in. It's been a couple of weeks since the last Clarity call, and of course, you know that I've been in beautiful sunny Panama on the private island, and it was just amazing. All of the different experiences that we had. We flew out to Panama City, which is in South America near the Caribbean, and got a private plane to a private island, which was in Bocas del Taurus, and a boat to the island called Red Frog Beach Island, owned by Wright Thurston. We got a chance to meet the owner, and through the week, for those of you that were on my webinar during the week, we had so many different experiences. So I'm now come back with a beautiful tan and also with many more experiences and lessons that I'll be sharing with you over the coming weeks. I did zip lining out there, so that was one of the highlights of the week. I went in the pool, which is something I don't normally do, and many, many other things. And so I'm back now. I actually went to Spain afterwards. So even though my trip ended on the 31st of May, I went to Spain for a few days to relax and to really think about the plan for the next quarter because um, as you know, at the beginning of each year, we set plans and we look at what it is that we'd like to accomplish out of that particular year, and that will be based on the bigger purpose, on the lifelong vision. But it has to be broken down somehow, and so we break that down into what do you actually want in every area of your life in the coming year. And so the year 2015, now we looked at that. And so today, being a new quarter, June to September being a new quarter in that year, I decided that I would do the clarity call on how do you actually plan for a winning month? How do you begin to structure your thoughts and your ideas so that you can have the year that you dream of and the outcome that you'd really love to dream of? So, what does it really mean to have a winning month? Well, I would say that in terms of winning, you're winning if you achieve a successful outcome, the outcome that you had wanted to achieve. And the definition of success, well, Elle Nightingale in The Stranger's Secret gives that successful outcome and being successful as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So, no matter what the outcome, whether it be financial or spiritual, maybe it is physical or vocational, it could be to do with family, it could be to do with relationships. Every single thing can be broken down into something tangible and numerical that you can work on. And if you think about it, when you set that target, there was probably so many things on there that it's quite difficult to focus when you have a varied range of items. And so one of the things that I do is every quarter I look again at that goal. I look at what I've done in the previous quarter and I look at what I need to do next. And sometimes my values have changed. So as I said, you could pick any area of your life and have one thing be the most important thing. But I usually choose three of those different seven areas of life to focus on. And I'm going to give you an example of how that's done. So you can also plan for a winning month for yourself. All of these targets that we have, as I said, they can be broken down into numbers, and very often they can also be linked to something in terms of finances. And it makes meaning that even if it's a spiritual goal, for instance, my spiritual mentor has a retreat coming up, and I would love to go, and it costs a certain amount of money, but still a spiritual goal to actually spend time, take time out of my work schedule to spend some time with him. But it comes down to having the money to take the time off because life still happens, and I still have to pay for everything that goes on a day-to-day basis in my life. And you're possibly the same in that even if it's spiritual, even if it's a physical outcome. It may pay to do shopping in a different way, to have more healthy foods, or for a personal trainer to help you with your workouts, or to have a different gym membership, or a different level gym membership, whatever it is. Even if it's a friendship outcome, you might want to treat your friends and go somewhere. They can all be broken down to financial outcomes, and so we can often um, have an equivalent by working in our business. We can match our outcomes in our business with outcomes in other areas of our lives. So you already know what you want this year, and I'm going to give the example of a holiday, because many of the people that I've been speaking to this week are dying for a holiday. Well, they're not dying, but they would really, really like to have a holiday, especially after discussing holidays all week. And so that's the first step, is to know what you want this year, and then choosing what you'll work on this quarter. And so it being 90 days, a quarter, you can only focus on so many things, so many areas of life at one time. I mean, once you've actually got into the habit of doing things daily, it's much easier to attain a life balance. But because you're at the beginning of your journey right now in terms of getting a life balance, it's easier just to focus on specific things in one quarter. So choosing what we'll work on this quarter, we're going to work on um, the example of having a holiday to, let's say, the Caribbean. Let's say Jamaica, because my mum lives there, and that's an easy thing for me to visualize. And it costing £1,000 for the flight, and for somewhere to stay, and for the spending money and everything that you need to make that holiday a reality. Let's say for for maths, for the sake of mathematics and making it easier, let's say it will cost £1,000. And then think about by when you actually want to achieve that amount. When do you need to put the money down? And let's say you want £1,000 by the end of next month, July the 31st, and the end of the quarter being August the 31st. So you're starting at the beginning of June, and by the end of July, you need £1,000. So that means now that you know that the numbers for this month in terms of your holiday, if it's £1,000 by the end of next month, that means you have 2 months to make £1,000. And so you're able to break down that 1,000 into two. So it's £500 a month. Um, Once you actually have an understanding of, for every area of your life, how much you need to be able to achieve that figure, you can then break it down daily. And you break it down daily by deciding how many hours you're actually going to work. How much of your time do you want to actually spend in your business, and how much of it do you want to spend on perhaps other things, maybe the delivery of your business, or spending time with your family, or spending time with friends, and how you're going to actually break down your time. It's really important to know that, so you can be really strict about two things that you need next, because all of the what I've said is pretty straightforward. We know that when we have a goal, we have to break it down so we have an idea how we're going to achieve it. But because we're going for our business, it's really important to know the figure for this month, so we can choose the right offer. Because if you want £500, and let's say you only have 20 hours a week to work, you don't want to start with maybe your 50p off or something, or your £1 offer, or your £7 offer. It's going to take you a lot longer if you only have 20 hours a month or a week to do it. So you want to maybe choose an appropriate offer, and then think about your connection methods depending on where you're going to be and how you're going to spend your time. Are you going to be at home? Are you going to be out and about in an office? And sorry, my mic came out. Where are you actually going to be this month? If you're mainly online, you can think about how are you going to connect with people about your offer on perhaps on social media. If you know you're going to be in specific areas, you can look at events in those areas where you could go and connect with your ideal customer. So planning out your connection methods in advance allows you to do the groundwork that we talked about when we did the turning connections into customers workshop, where you can look at offline methods, do your research in advance, see who's attending, and really plan how you're going to actually achieve these connections. So that's really important. The other thing is, if you know you've got 20 hours available, let's say a week, even though it's your own business that you're working on, it's really important to have the mindset in your business that you work as though you are an employee with a strict boss and targets, especially if you want to win and have a winning month. Often, the reason why people do not achieve their successful outcomes is because they don't take their business all that seriously. They take it as a hobby. They spend their time, they still have time to chill out and maybe be doing things that they shouldn't be doing on office hours that they wouldn't do if they had a strict boss and they had to go into work and get paid for this same work. The mindset is completely different. And so, even though the way that we earn is different because we don't exchange time for money, remember, as an entrepreneur, you exchange value for money instead of time for money. You are still having to use your time on productive, income producing methods rather than slacking off at work, so to speak. All right. So, if you do those two things, if you know your offer and you know how you're going to connect, is really then just looking back at the numbers and knowing what you're going to do with your work time. So you want £1,000 for your Caribbean holiday in Jamaica by July 31st, and £500 of it needs to be earned this month, and you only work 20 hours, 20 hours, 20 hours a month, let's say 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month. So then you know that over 20 hours, you want to make £500. That's roughly meaning that you need to make for £500 maybe 10 sales of £50 or something like that. Around, a £50 offer would be a good one to make £500, just for mathematics sake. £500 over £10, over 10 people or 10 customers. So in your 20 hours a week or 20 hours a month, you're looking to make 10 sales of £50 to make that £500. All right. So you choose your offer, looking back at your ideal client, the places where you're going to be networking, or you could be obviously sending out an offer to your existing customer base if you have one. You could be looking at the type of event that you're going to this month, and which type of your ideal customers are there and what they want, and create an offer around that links to your product or links to your services, or it could be a completely new offer that is a special offer, a seasonal offer that maybe goes with whatever's happening at that time. So, for instance, it's Father's Day now, and so you could do like something that is specifically for fathers or for men around this time, and think about how are you going to tell the people that you're connecting with that you have this offer available. So planning in advance for a winning month, you need to have these things in place before you actually go and speak about them. So it could be that you're going to you're going to use the conversational tools that we use in turning connections into customers, using the scripts there, and send people to an offer page. Or you could be inviting them to a webinar where you talk about what you have to offer. You could be inviting them to an event or a workshop if you hold these types of events and workshops, or you could be calling them directly if you have their details. You could be setting up one-to-ones, like meeting people for coffee or meeting them for lunch, depending on how high end your offer is, or uh, yeah, it depends on how high end your offer is. Because if you have an offer that is worth £250 and you have a client that can afford it, that you know that is worth spending a bit more time with, it's worth meeting them up one to one for coffee. But if you've got a £10 offer or a £20 offer, it's not worth going out to meet them for coffee because you could be doing more things in that time. And that's why it's so important to plan ahead of time how you're going to actually connect with them to give them that offer. Um, Once you actually have an idea how you're connecting with customers, the other thing that you need to know is that not everybody that you speak to is going to want to take you up on your offer. So you even though you want to make 10 sales, it doesn't mean that you only speak to 10 people. In fact, it's probable that you'll need to speak to at least 10 times the amount that you want to sell to if you're working in what is called a cold market or people that you haven't spoken to before. Because sometimes they need to hear things more than once from you. Sometimes they're not ready. Sometimes they don't have the money. And so you need to take it into account in your planning that you're going to need to speak to maybe at least ten times as many people as you actually need to make sales for. So you only want to make 10 sales of £50 in this example, but it will mean that you need to speak to 100 people in in that time to do that job. And as I said, it could be in many, many ways. And this is why our automated systems helping to leverage our time are so very useful because there's only so much time in the day and you still need to achieve the targets. Remember, you're thinking as though you're an employee with a strict boss and targets. So they have to be met or you don't get paid as much as you would like or at all in some cases. So this means for a winning month in which you definitely know that you're working towards getting your holiday in Jamaica, your goal is to reach 100 people because that's you need 10 sales and you're speaking to 10 times as many people. So your goal is to reach 100 people in 20 hours. And your focus then, 100 people in 20 hours means speaking to 5 people every single hour. That having that mindset as you go to work will make your day more productive. Having that mindset and working on that at work in your work in your marketing and promotion and sales time means that it's more productive, and it means that you're actually working in the definition of success. You are working on the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. You're actually progressively doing the work to get the thing that you think's worthwhile for you, that's ideal for you, which is your holiday in Jamaica. And that's how I plan out all of my months in advance. So at the beginning of a quarter, I will say to myself, okay, out of everything that I want this year, I definitely want to make sure that I work on my weight. I want to lose X amount of pounds, so it might be a specific amount of weight, or it might be a dress size. I mean, I'm always putting different things into there, but that's sometimes something comes up, or it could be vocational, like personal development, and it may be a particular seminar that I want to attend, um, or a course that I want to purchase just to develop my mind. It may be in terms of my friendships, what can I get out there and do with my friends this quarter? But whatever it is for you is the most important thing. And when you do this, it means every month you're going to feel productive. You're going to feel different in your energy. You're going to draw different types of people to you. And where we talked about influence the other day, and if you weren't on the webinar on influence, you can access a replay in the membership site. But where we were talking about influence, um, as you have different goals for your month, you'll be able to know exactly which circles of influence you need to be around in order to bring yourself um, more success in that area of your life, because you'll know to be around people that are already achieving that success. If you want to be healthier and have a healthier lifestyle, you want to be around people for whom being healthy is their top priority, where they always choose the healthier option when they go and eat, where exercising is a regular part of their everyday routine, where they don't, that if you were out together and you wanted to choose junk food or something that wasn't as healthy, they would dissuade you from it. And if you were to stay around people that think as you think in regards to health, um, they will also have the same outcome as you. So you'll be in an equally unfit state of health. And so that means that you're only going to stay the same, because if you wanted to go and have junk food, they'll go along with you because they'll feel like eating it too. They would not dissuade you. Whereas if you were really striving to be healthy on your own and your people would only make unhealthy choices, you'll end up having to leave them behind, or you'd have to join them in unhealthy choices. So it's very important that as you know exactly the area of your life that you're working on, spiritual, friendships, whatever, family, um, or whatever it is for you, that you surround yourself in circles of influence, or you're reading books that enable you to be part of that circle of influence, or you're listening to things, or going online and networking with people within that circle of influence to help you be productive when you are working on your particular goal. So in your downtime, rather than just doing whatever you normally do, make sure that you are doing something that is in line with whatever that goal is, that you're around people that already think that way, and it will help you to elevate yourself in that area of influence, as well as be really, really focused when you are in your work time, when you're doing your 20 hours, and when you want to work on making um, speaking to 5 people an hour so that you can get the 10 sales that take you on holiday. If holiday and travel and leisure is the area of your focus, then that will help you so much. And that's exactly how I plan for a winning month. I hope that's given you a little bit more clarity on how to move forward with this next quarter. And I'd love to hear how you actually put it into practice in your own life if you're not already doing these things already. And if you are, I'd love to hear how you do them. So, maybe I could get some new ideas on the way that I plan out my winning month. Um, with the past 2 quarters of 2015, I've been bang on target. So I'm really overjoyed with that. But I have bigger, much bigger, much just big, bold, audacious, hairy goals, as they call them, for the remainder of the year that I didn't start the year of. And I think as long as your goals are getting bigger, if they're going to change from where they were, as long as they're getting bigger, that's a good thing. As long as you don't begin to allow your circumstances to have your vision shrink from where it begun, then I think that's a really great thing. So I'm wishing you the best of success for a winning week. And what have I got coming up? I have on the I have another repeat of the webinar on influence, and that will be coming up this Thursday week. And I also have another workshop which is about 90 days. It's a plan on my vision creation experience, in fact, which will be done in 90 days as a fast track. So it's going to be a 90-day ideas to income webinar, and that's going to be on the 30th of June. So I have one on the 16th, which is another influence webinar. I have one on the 30th, which is a free webinar on 90 days ideas to income, and exactly what you'd need to do every week for 90 days, for 12 weeks, to achieve your ideas to income goals. And also I have on the 20th, Saturday the 20th, I'm running a workshop on webinars. So on that day, I'll be showing you how to use webinars to achieve your goals, to expand your streams of income. As one of your streams of income, you can use webinars, sharing your wisdom and talking about your offer, whatever your offer may be, to help you just basically make more money for the lifestyle that you want to make. So that's on the 20th. And you, for that one, you can go to Eventbrite, and the Eventbrite site is wisdomonwebinars.eventbrite.com. And for the others, you can also go to Eventbrite. So if you go to wisdomonwebinars.eventbrite.com, you can click on the organizer or other events by this organizer, and you'll see them there. or of course you can go to sophiabailey.co.uk, and there you will find the links to any other events that are coming up. All right. So as usual, if you have any questions this week, I think most people are booked into the calendar already. If you're not, please just and you are supposed to be, then book into the calendar for this week. And you can do that at contact.sophiabailey.co.uk. What else do I have? These are the main things. Oh, the packaging, your brilliance is I wasn't able to edit it while I was away. This was the workshop that I did just before I left. I wasn't able to edit it because my laptop failed, so I couldn't use my laptop while I was away. So that will be edited and updated on the site this week. Well, it'll be up tomorrow. And also, what was the other thing? Yeah, and so after that, you've got that. Then we'll be working on managing your message. So we'll be looking at all your social media. You know, webinars are really part of that, but it's not part of this course. But looking at your social media, looking at your website, looking at the message that you are, really the brand that you are on the outside, how people perceive you, and how that actually relates to your offer, your ideal customer, what you stand for, your purpose, all of that. So we'll make sure that the text is updated to align with that, so that when people hear about your offer and they look you up online, that it actually resonates, that you're saying the same thing. And the same applies when you go to events, whether it be seminars, exhibitions, where you have a stand, making sure that all those things resonate, are authentic, and in line with your message, your core message, as the way you'd like it to be portrayed. So that's what we'll be moving on to. And after that, systems, and all of that will be done this month. And then we'll be closing out soon by the end of this month. Actually, it's going to be a fast month for us. I know quite a few people are away or have been working on other things, and I know quite a few people have had fantastic outcomes as well so far in their thinking since we got started, and their just their outputs since we got started. So I'm really looking forward to getting to the close with all of you this month too. So I can begin to share everything. You know, you can begin to share everything with each other, all your outcomes with each other that you've been sharing with me on your phone calls. So that's it for this week's Clarity Call. Thank you so much for joining me live. And thank you so much if you're taking the time to listen into the recording. And I will be back again next Sunday. So I will speak to you then. Until then, God bless you. Have a fantastic week, and bye for now.